What if I told you that there's a big price difference between iPhones in South Africa than they are across the globe, specifically in America? So stick around because we're not just going to be discussing the numbers, but we're going to do a deep dive to figure out why that is. And trust me, the story is a lot more complicated than you think. So without further ado, let's get into it. So you watch the Apple keynote and you see Apple announce the new flagship iPhone for $899, which begs the question. You do a quick calculation and it comes up to be 16,800 rand. Not bad, right? But that's not the full story. A week goes by and iStore announces their prices for the newest iPhones and it's almost double what you worked it out to be. Not so cheap anymore, right? So then you might ask yourself, why are we paying so much more for the same device? What makes the cost of an iPhone double in South Africa than it does in America? We're gonna have to dig deep and find out what's really going on for ourselves. To understand the cost, we first need to dive into the economic landscape of South Africa, taking a look at the exchange rate, import duties, and taxes. And we're gonna take each criteria to find out just how much it all contributes to the final price of the iPhone. Apple sets its prices in US dollars, but the phone is normally priced globally. So you would need to convert that into your local currency to get a rough estimation of the final price that it would be in your native country. Say you want to get an iPhone 15 Pro Max in America, which costs $1,199, but you do a quick conversion and it comes up to be 22,500 rand, which is not so bad for an iPhone 15 Pro Max in my book. A way to picture this is we can have a stall where all the native countries come together and they sell a variety of different products. By doing this, we can have a picture of how we can see how the prices are different in each stall. Say the US stall sells its iPhones for a select price. Now, when you go to buy from the US stall, you'll be using your native currency. And as you'll be using your native currency, you see that it costs significantly more in the US stall than it is in your own stall. Because of this difference in exchange rates, when you go to that stall, you'll be paying much more than you would be doing in your native currency. From the US stall, you now move on to the Angolan and some Middle Eastern stalls. You notice that because of the lower tax percentages, they are able to purchase the iPhones at a much lower price. Another way to think of it is by imagining that you and your friends decide to go on a shopping spree. You all set a budget and agree to buy different gadgets that would amount to a strict budget. So, each person contributes their share to buying the latest gadgets, including an iPhone. Now it's time to make purchases in your respective country. For those with the stronger currencies, it's like getting a great deal because for them, the iPhones are reasonably priced and they would get a greater deal than you would without breaking the bank. Because of your weaker currency, you may see that the price might shoot up just for you. It's like entering the store and now you're paying double what everyone else paid, but you seem to be getting less bang for your buck. While everyone else is happily unboxing their devices, you're left wondering why those devices costed double for you and not for them. And that's mainly down to the exchange rates of the devices that you're purchasing. This is how iPhones can feel much luxurious in nations with weaker currencies. But that's not all, we've still got import duties to think about. Apple determines just how much import duties for iPhones would be in South Africa based on the adjustments of import levies or trade regulations that may have a direct effect on the cost of your iPhones in the South African market. Okay, so let's say you're eagerly waiting for a friend to send you a gift from overseas. However, just as your iPhone gets on your doorstep, a customs officer takes a look and looks at your iPhone, assessing the worth of this phone. Now, your friend in that case happens to be Apple, and the gift is an iPhone. However, Apple decides just how much your phone is worth on paper, but the customs officer representing the import duties has the authority to adjust the pricing of that phone that is coming in. That is what import duties basically does. It's like a game of chess where each move by Apple is countered by the move of the customs officer, and each time the price just keeps on rising higher and higher by the customs officer, which in this case is the import duties. So what happens now? Courtesy of the customs and import duties, the price of your gift has just skyrocketed. What was supposed to be a thoughtful gift has now turned into a financial headache for you because of the import duties that comes with the phone. This dance between Apple's valuation and the customs officer is the reason why your iPhone just might end up being up to 45% more in South Africa. And that's not just iPhones, that also includes other devices that come, such as MacBooks, Apple Watches, and iPads, which all face an average increase of 25% as they come into South Africa. And that's not even talking about the additional tax that comes with bringing an iPhone into the country. While you can think of this as bidding for a one of a kind piece of artwork, but the auctioneer tells you as you buy this artwork, you have to pay an arts appreciation tax, which in this case is VAT for the iPhone. So basically, whatever price you pay for the iPhone, you would have to pay a 15% VAT on that phone or art appreciation tax for whatever price you pay. As you eagerly bid for the latest iPhone, the auctioneer, in this case iStore, informs you that the winning bid, which is the final retail price, not only secures the iPhone but comes with a 15% VAT charge. So, just like with the art appreciation tax, this VAT is incorporated into the final price of your iPhone. So, the higher you bid, you will still be paying the same amount for the art appreciation tax, which in this case would be the VAT, and that would be 15%. So, always remember that this 15% VAT or art appreciation tax will always be added to your iPhone. So now you're starting to get a picture of how all these sneaky additional charges add up to the final cost of your iPhone today. But Apple doesn't have direct control over distribution in South Africa. If they did, our stores would have been called Apple, or there would have been an Apple logo on the Apple employees' t-shirts. Think about it for a second. So this begs the question, who distributes to Apple in South Africa? Who has direct control over the pricing of iPhones and other Apple devices in South Africa? That's where we find the core group. In the world of Apple products in South Africa, they take center stage as the sole distributor of Apple products in South Africa. The core group is like gatekeepers of a U2 concert, by deciding not only who gets in, but just exactly how much you're paid just to get into the U2 concert. And because of the exclusive access, they hold the power to set the prices in South Africa. This is why we don't see much of a price difference between iPhones in South Africa when they are released between stores, which would result in certain Apple products in South Africa being up to 50% more expensive than you would if you were paying for the same U2 concert in another part of the world. The influence of a sole distributor dictates just how much you would be paying for your device. This is how the backstage of the Apple distribution dynamic works in South Africa. But what happens behind the scenes is truly remarkable and key to understanding the final price tag that you find yourself contemplating at the store. The way we can visualize this process is by having Apple's Innovation Hub as the cutting edge studio, much like the automotive designers sketching the blueprints for a new car. So just like manufacturers source different products from different companies across the world, Apple does the same. Apple collaborates with a network of component suppliers, which all contributes to the final phone that we do see today. From the cobalt in the lithium-ion batteries to the displays that we see in the iPhone, each part is individually sourced and brought together and put into your iPhone, which all contributes to the final cost of your iPhone. By envisioning the tech factory where iPhones come to life, the assembly line is like a well-coordinated automotive production line, ensuring each iPhone is meticulously crafted and assembled. The iPhones then leave the factory on a convoy of trucks. In a similar manner to shipments, each iPhone's documentation undergoes scrutiny before it is allowed to enter a new market. Just like how cars are distributed to dealerships, iPhones then are sent to distribution centers, in this case which would be your iStore. And each center acts as a tech dealership strategically placed to ensure iPhones get to the right people like you and me. Just like car dealerships show off the latest model, iStore allows you to have a premium experience as soon as you walk through that door. They ensure that you leave with a smile and a lasting experience that would make you want to purchase the latest iPhone. Now, connecting all the dots together, we can see how this all contributes to the price of your iPhone. iPhones are like compact, highly efficient vehicles navigating through this tech highway. They share commonalities in cars such as the design, manufacturing, and distribution process. which creates a seamless intersection between the automotive industry and the tech industry. But there's also another key element to the story: the regulation bodies that govern how iPhones are distributed. They act as the passport control for the tech industry. Just as a traveler needs to comply with passport controls, tech companies need to adhere to the government regulations, which do carry additional administration costs, which do add up to the final cost of your iPhone. Apple isn't just selling a product, it's selling an experience. Picture the iPhone as an architectural marvel, a luxurious mansion constructed with the finest materials with a lot of attention to detail. This mansion is a symbol of opulence. Its premium construction ensures that the mansion not only is just a gadget but is a testament towards craftsmanship and the test of time, which all contributes to the high price tag. Much like the timeless estate that stands the test of generations, iPhones are designed to be a lasting possession. Think about it, iPhones retain more value over time than most smartphones. But this tech mansion evolves with time, receiving updates and renovations to preserve its value, which we do see with the constant updates of iOS 17 and many updates that follow. This is where Apple has its fair share in dominance over other smartphone competitors. Isn't that why most of us choose Apple for the Apple experience? This experience is one of a kind. It's like a tech mansion that always keeps us within and makes sure that we have a premium feel and design within that mansion. In my opinion, iPhones stand as a technological mansion, a symbol of opulence and a secure digital haven, which each attribute contributes to the final value of the iPhone, justifying its premium status and the grand mansion of technology. So by now we should have a better understanding why iPhones are so expensive, as we ventured into the behind the scenes realm of supply chain, uncovering the journey of the flagship iPhones from the manufacturing hub to our eager hands. The government regulations that also play as a silent orchestrator, casting the shadows of the shape of the final chord in the pricing symphony. But yet, we've also dived into the Apple experience, just how much that contributes to the premium feel of this phone. The brand, the cinemas and innovation that us consumers trust in the iPhone transcends into a tangible product which we all see today, becoming a beacon of sophistication and status. So think about all of these things that we've just spoken about if you've ever wondered why the iPhone costs so much. Because tech companies such as Apple are always innovating. If they didn't, then we wouldn't be having the technology that we have today. Let me know what your thoughts are, if you agree why iPhones should cost more and if they would be costing more in the future. Should iPhones cost more in the future or should they cost less? It's been Fari and I'll see you guys in the next one.